So today I'm going to be doing a review and tutorial of the Dehancer film emulation plugin. So let's jump into DaVinci and I will show you what it's all about. I pulled a couple of example clips here. This shot, which was from a campaign commercial. This one was from a social Instagram reel, Wine Bingo Night. And this is from a music video that I helped color grade. I'll show you how to use the plugin. We're going to start on this commercial clip right here. If you want to be technically correct and you're very big on color, space transforms, and all that jazz, I suggest when you set this up, doing a color space transform. So add a node, add your color space transform, and you'll just do it as you normally do, where you put the settings used that you shot on your specific camera. And the reasoning for this is when I was doing research on the Dehancer's website, they say that their color space transform within their plugin is more of a aesthetic, like to make the best film emulation. So it might not be like technically correct. If you're talking Rec 709, if that doesn't matter to you and I'm just speaking a different language, then just ignore what I said. If it does, do a color space transform. So we're not going to worry about it. We're going to add a new one and we're going to type in Dehancer. After you double click it and just install it, you'll have it in here. Drag and drop it on. In your source, you're going to choose the camera you shot on. In this case, this was a Sony a7S III, and then it was in S-Log3 Image Cine. Scrolling through here, we have a lot of options. Don't be overwhelmed. They all are very easy. First is going to be our actual film, like what we're emulating. And with this, I'm just gonna pick maybe like a Kodak Ektar 100. Sure, call that good. Make sure the checks are enabled on certain things because I made the mistake when I was first messing with it to be playing with stuff and it wasn't enabled. And so I was like, why isn't this working? Make sure it's enabled. And then we're gonna jump down into our film developer. Make sure that's enabled. That's a big one we're going to use. And then in print, with a lot of the film stuff I'm trying to get that look of, I like a cleaner, not like a true film. I like a cleaner, more less filmy look. I don't know. That's just personal preference. So I'm going to do the Kodak Endura glossy paper. All these are different things you can play with. But as you saw, added a lot of contrast and depth in there. Overall, the shot looks a little cool. But let's first just bump up the color boost on here so we get a little saturation in there. I mean, you can just see like, look how smooth that gradient is on there. Pop it open full screen there. Already looks really good. So we can jump in a little bit more and play with the color temperature. And I'm just going to warm it up a little bit overall using this slider here. Scroll down. So we have film grain in here. I'm going to turn it down a little just because, like I said, I'm going for like a clean commercial look that might not have been shot on film, but still has the same characteristics of film. Definitely want some elation in there. I'm going to turn on the mask mode and I'll be able to see with what's selected in red here where the actual elation is happening. So I don't need it to be like overboard. I'm probably going to just do a little bit on the box and maybe just barely kissing the trees there. So there we go. If we pop it up, you can see it better right on the top of the edge of the box there, on top of her head, just in some little places. The grain still looks a little heavy for me, so I'm even going to crank that down just a little bit more. And some people love the grain. I just like mine down a little. We're definitely going to add some bloom to this, and you can see pretty powerful instant. Same thing with this. You can mask it and see what you're affecting. Turn it down a little. Just a little bloom to get that dreamy look. Okay. And with all of this, you can add your film damage, dust, film breath, gate weave, overscan. This is if you're trying to make it look like it was film scanned in, or you're trying to give it a border, trying to do a lot of that stuff. Vignette, false color. Cool tool in there. You can see what's exposed, what's not. This is really cool too, clipping indication. So this will show you where your shadows or like lost data is. So for example, if I am clipping here, I'm losing data here, and accurately do it like while you're watching it. So that's a very cool tool there for monitoring. False color can do the same thing. See if you're too hot, too cool, expose it correctly with all within this one node. That's the other great part about it. Let's dive into this clip right here, and I'll show you this little trick right here, which is just like taking your base grade if you already like the look of it and you've already customized it some, and you'll just paste it on your clip. Now we need to fix the temperature, so balance that back out. We need to probably bring that down a little. Definitely needs a little bit more halation. Increase the color density a little. And I do want to pump the grain back up on this. So I'm going to go in the grain and we'll just set it back to default. All right. So that's just me tinkering with it. Pretty smooth. Halation looks really nice. Bloom looks really nice. You can see the halation around that light up there, running down her arm on the jewelry. This was like a Cheers clip top. So I like the overall look of that. Again, I mean, these are using the same film stock. We can jump on, like, let's see what Fujifilm 35 or Kodak 238 film print. Play with all these again. So just adjusting those little things. If you know film and know stocks like that, and you know what you're like the exact look you're trying to get, this is going to be a super powerful tool for you. I don't know film stocks that well. I just started shooting on like a point and shoot film camera, so I don't know them that well, but it's a pretty cool. So let's see if we drag and drop this onto this one. Let's see what we get here. Pretty cinematic shot. I would crank the halation on it. I would do some different things, but that's the overall gist of it. I mean, super cool tool to play with and customizable off the charts. Trying to think of like downsides. Downsides for someone like me, I probably need to read a lot more into like all the little tools and like what they're doing. So yeah, for my specific use, it's a great tool. I'm looking for some of my images. I want to really emulate the film. I want to add the grain. I want to do that. And in others, like that commercial shot, I'm just trying to get the color tones and the like overall look of like a maybe a little bit softer, but not like completely destroyed, like film damage, all of that. So you can go either way with it, and that's the great part of having all that customizability. Also, I will throw up there. They have a mobile app that I have used for grading some BTS videos and some photos, and it has almost all the same tools in a different little organization. They have tons of presets that they've built in there to just select and then add more bloom, add more halation, add more grain, play with all those settings, and you can just scroll through and see all those. One thing I will say is it runs just a little bit slow when I was trying to like edit some videos and stuff on there, which I think that's just playback. Once it renders out, it's fine on your phone. But if you're trying to like live track through a video, it could be a little bit tedious. But being mobile and having that access to those tools is really nice and something that I thought was pretty cool. If you're interested and you think like, hey, want to check this out, I have a code. It's X Kyle, and you get 10% off, and you can use that. And let me know if you guys have more questions or want me to like show off more looks that this can do. I mean, you can just see how broad of a range and how much customizability it really has. So let me know if you what you want to see more of, and yeah, go from there.